It's on page 30 in your guidebook. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. So I've got a definition that's not in the book, wrong, out of the dictionary. An unjust, immoral, or dishonest act. I thought that was pretty interesting. And that sounds like what I always thought wrong meant. Then I looked up honest. If it's a dishonest act, what's honest? Honest is free of deceit. I'm going to be my honest self. I'm going to let somebody see the exact nature of myself in step 5. Let's go to page 72 in the big book. Karen, will you start reading that?
Having made our personal inventory, what shall we do about it? We have been trying to get a new attitude, a new relationship with our Creator, and discover the obstacles in our path. We have admitted certain defects. We have ascertained in a rough way what the trouble is. We have put our finger on the weak items in our personal inventory. Now these are about to be cast out. This requires action on our part, which, when completed, will mean that we have admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our defects. This brings us to the 5th step in the program of recovery mentioned in the preceding chapter. This is perhaps difficult, especially discussing our defects with another person. We think we have done well enough in admitting these things to ourselves. There is doubt about that. In actual practice, we usually find a solitary self-appraisal insufficient. Many of us thought it necessary to go much further. We will be more reconciled to discussing ourselves with another person when we see good reasons why we should do so. The best reason first. If we skip this vital step, we may not overcome drinking. Time after time, newcomers have tried to keep to themselves certain facts about their lives. Trying to avoid this humbling experience, they have turned to easier methods. Almost invariably, they got drunk. Having persevered with the rest of the program, they wondered why they fell. We think the reason is that they never completed their housekeeping. They took inventory all right, but hung on to some of the worst items in stock. They only thought they had lost their egoism and fear. They only thought they had humbled themselves. But they had not learned enough of humility, fearlessness, and honesty in the sense we find it necessary until they told someone else all their life story. More than most people, the alcoholic leads a double life. He is very much the actor. To the outer world, he presents his stage character. This is the one he likes his fellows to see. He wants to enjoy a certain reputation, but knows in his heart he doesn't deserve it. The inconsistency is made worse by the things he does on his sprees. Coming to his senses, he is revolted at certain episodes he vaguely remembers. These memories are a nightmare. He trembles to think someone might have observed him. As fast as he can, he pushes those memories far inside himself. He hopes they will never see the light of day. He is under constant fear and tension. That makes for more drinking. Psychologists are inclined to agree with us. We have spent thousands of dollars for examinations. We know but few instances where we have given these doctors a fair break. We have seldom told them the whole truth, nor have we followed their advice. Unwilling to be honest with these sympathetic men, we were honest with no one else. Small wonder many in the medical profession have a low opinion of alcoholics and their chance for recovery. We must be entirely honest with somebody if we expect to live long or happily in this world. Rightly and naturally, we think well before we choose the person or persons with whom to take this intimate and confidential step. Those of us belonging to a religious denomination which requires confession must, and of course will want to go to the properly appointed authority whose duty it is to receive it. Though we have no religious connection, we may still do well to talk with someone ordained by an established religion. We often find such a person quick to see and understand our problem. Of course, we sometimes encounter people who do not understand alcoholics. If we cannot or would rather not do this, we search our acquaintance for a closed-mouthed, understanding friend. Perhaps our doctor or psychologist will be the person. It may be one of our own family, but we cannot disclose anything to our wives or our parents which will hurt them and make them unhappy. We have no right to save our own skin at another person's expense. Such parts of our story we tell to someone who will understand yet be unaffected. The rule is we must be hard on ourselves, but always considerate of others. Notwithstanding the great necessity for discussing ourselves with someone, it may be one is so situated that there is no suitable person available. If that is so, this step may be postponed, only, however, if we hold ourselves in complete readiness to go through with it at the first opportunity. We say this because we are very anxious that we talk to the right person. It is important that he be able to keep a confidence, that he fully understand and approve what we are driving at, that he will not try to change our plan. But we must not use this as a mere excuse to postpone. When we decide who is to hear our story, we waste no time. We have a written inventory, and we are prepared for a long talk. We explain to our partner what we are about to do and why we have to do it. He should realize that we are engaged upon a life and death errand. Most people approached in this way will be glad to help. They will be honored by our confidence. We pocket our pride and go to it, illuminating every twist of character, every dark cranny of the past. Once we have taken this step, withholding nothing, we are delighted. We can look the world in the eye. We can be alone at perfect peace and ease. Our fears fall from us. We begin to feel the nearness of our Creator. We may have had certain spiritual beliefs, but now we begin to have a spiritual experience. The feeling that the drink problem has disappeared will often come strongly. We feel we were on the broad highway, walking hand in hand with the Spirit of the universe. Returning home, we find a place where we can be quiet for an hour, carefully reviewing what we have done. We thank God from the bottom of our heart that we know Him better. Taking this book down from our shelf, we turn to the page which contains the 12 steps. Carefully reading the first 5 proposals, we ask if we had omitted anything, for we are building an arch through which we shall walk a free man at last. Is our work solid so far? Are the stones properly in place? Have we skimped on the cement put into the foundation? Have we tried to make mortar without sand?
Thank you, Karen. All right, so back to page 30 on our guidebook. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs. Karen just read pages 72 to 75 in the big book. The reason we do it, trying to avoid this humbling experience, they have turned to easier methods. Almost invariably, they got drunk. The method, we pocket our pride and go to it, eliminating every twist of character, every dark cranny of the past. You could say that your 5th step is where you take your 4th step inventory and read it to your sponsor. Guess what? I can write a resentment inventory and a fear inventory and a sex inventory and not list every twist of character on there easily. This is where I purposefully list every twist of character, every dark cranny of the past. I'm going to tell somebody everything. It's the scariest damn thing I've ever done in my life. Because it is for anybody, because this is where deliberately we are going to let somebody see everything that we have tried so hard all these years to keep secrets. We're just going to put it all out there. We're just going to take a chance with being what the heck we really are. We're just going to let somebody see it all. This is scary. And it's scary because our ego has been keeping these secrets for a reason. Why do you think our ego's been keeping the secrets? Because our ego thinks that they make us a bad person, or they hurt our chances of security and self-esteem. So we got to keep this stuff quiet. Don't let anybody know this. Don't say that. So we pocket our pride and go to it, eliminating every twist of character and every dark cranny of the past, everything. Okay, the promise. Once we've taken this step, withholding nothing, we're delighted we can look the world in the eye. We can be alone at perfect peace and ease. Our fears fall from us. We begin to feel the nearness of our Creator. We may have had certain spiritual beliefs, but now we begin to have a spiritual experience. We're going further than just toying with it now. We toyed with it in step 4. Something's going to start to change now. The feeling that the drink problem has disappeared will often come strongly, and we feel we're on the broad highway walking hand in hand with the spirit of the universe. For the first time, we've been whole, ourselves, no act, honest. What does this step say? We admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. What are wrongs? Wrongs are an unjust, immoral, or dishonest action. So the opposite of wrong would be honest. And honest is free of deceit. This is the first time in my life I'm going to sit in front of somebody and be free of deceit. I'm going to just let them see who in the heck I really have been. That includes telling them all the stuff I've done, all the stuff I think, all the stuff I resent, all the stuff I'm afraid of, all the misuse of my sex powers, and all of those crazy things I did that I hope nobody ever finds out about. That's free of deceit. The exact nature of our wrongs, all of our secrets, not just resentment, fear, and sex. And we're trying to understand our act. This is one of the things that happens in the 5th step. No matter how thorough we've been in our resentment, fear, and sex inventory, we haven't been able to tie it into a package yet. And see, this is how Dennis operates. This is my act. My act starts coming into focus because this guy that I'm doing this with is listening to me. And he listens and he listens and he says, you know what your act is? No. He says, well, could it be this? And he says something, and son of a gun, that's what it is. I've been living trying to get the world to approve of me. That's what I've been doing. My entire act is about that, for instance. Or it could be about something else. You might be the kind of person who has been living to try to lure people to take care of you. That's your act. You might be the kind of person who has been living to stay in charge so that nobody gets one up on you. And that's what you do. But whatever it is, you're seeing the exact nature of your wrong because you just read your whole resentment inventory, your whole fear inventory, and your whole sex inventory, and then you had a list of secrets that you've kept your whole life, and you read those too, and you just put it all on the table. So this guy can start to say, hey, you know what your exact nature of your wrong is, dude? And you can say, help me. Understanding our act, the exact nature of how we have lived a narrow, rigid, manipulative life in order to secure security and worth. Basically, besides our ambitions, security and worth are the two things that we have been trying to manipulate out of this world. Is he not a victim of the delusion that he can wrest satisfaction and happiness out of this world if he only manages well? Well, what kind of a manager is the guy? We got to get to the bottom of it. And that's what happens in the 5th step. That's why you got to be careful about who you do it with. You don't want somebody that's just going to pat you on the back and say, oh, it's okay, you're forgiven. No, you want somebody to help you see, what the heck have I been doing my whole life? Have I been spinning my wheels my whole life just trying to get people to approve of me when it's stupid, when it's worthless, it doesn't mean anything? Have I been deceitful? Have I not been who I am? Isn't honest about being who you are? So we move on to step 6.